Parks and Rec and The Good Place have very similar protagonists. They both have these unstoppable, cheerful, very confident, very likely to make horrible mistakes, perky, blonde women. So in Parks and Rec, we have Leslie Knope, which is played by Amy Poehler, and she is this absolute ball of optimism and energy, and you can't stop her, and she always overestimates what everybody else can do, even what she can do, but she will never be stopped. And especially in the early seasons of the show, that can be a little grating. She can come off as almost, my kids were watching and they were like, we hate her. And we were like, no, how can you hate her? But she ends up being the antagonist often in her own show because of this drive. And in The Good Place, we have Eleanor Shellstrop, as played by Kristen, and she too has her own unstoppable force, except that while Leslie is always trying to get everybody together and make everything change, at the beginning of the show at least, Eleanor has come from a life of complete selfishness. She is always out for herself, and that's all she's out for, and that's it. And yet, as the show progresses, she for the first time begins to relate to other people, and she realizes that just like Leslie Knope, she is an incredible leader who is able to bring people together and to really understand their weaknesses and their foibles, because she herself has been such a difficult person her whole life. So the two shows are very enjoyable because we have these protagonists that are so flawed and yet so sunny and impossible not to root for because of what they bring to everybody who's near them and because of the journey they're on. And a fun fact is that in Parks and Rec, they had the person that replaced Leslie Knope was Ingrid DeForest, and she's played by Kristen. So at some point, Leslie Knope loses the election to this very wealthy Eagleton citizen who has the most perfect life and whatever, and it's Kristen. So they were foreshadowing the fact that the next big Michael Shur protagonist was going to be Kristen.